I lied to my boyfriend about what happened while we were broken up. My boyfriend 18M broke up with me 19F in December of 2023. To say the very least, the breakup was tough. I heavily relied on my friends, family, and writing to get me through everything, but he left an emotional void, and those things alone just weren't enough. When we were together, we spent a lot of time with each other. I would always say he was a 2-in-1 boyfriend. He played the best friend role well, but the boyfriend role even better, so losing him felt like I lost more than just a boyfriend. One night, after many embarrassing attempts at trying to get him back, I acted like there was an emergency to get him on the phone with me, and since he was at work on a lunch break, I only had 30 minutes to state my case, but nothing worked. He flat out told me he didn't see a life with me anymore and that I needed to move on and let him go because there will never be a chance to have a relationship with him again. He even went as far to say he didn't love me anymore. The whole conversation broke me and I got really sick after. I didn't want to get out of bed, let alone go to work or even answer any phone calls. But I decided a few weeks later to get on the apps to find a distraction because I was an emotional wreck. I met a lot of cool people as well as a lot of sketchy people, too. But I ended up linking with this boy called Apple. He picked me up from my house and we went out to eat. After we sat in his car, just talking and listening to good music, I could tell there was tension, but it was really one-sided. He wanted to do bits with me, and I just wanted good conversation and a distraction. I can't lie, the feeling of being desired or wanted after a breakup is such an ego boost. We ended up making out a little and I got a few hickeys, but ultimately didn't do anything more. Fast forward a few more links, he asks if I wanted to go over his house, and I agreed. I had a feeling I would have slept over, and we almost did, but things just felt off. I missed the person I loved and envisioned a life with, and although I didn't regret the things I did with Apple, it was just unfulfilling. Me and Apple talked a little more after, but since it was nearing the end of winter break, and we were never meant to be anything more than friends, he went back to school and we stopped talking. That, however, didn't make me feel any better about my breakup, so I talked to a few more people, went on some dates, and even had a sleepover with one other person, and it yielded the same results as Apple. So at that point, I decided to just try and face my hurt, and actually let him go. That was short-lived because a week or two after Valentine's Day, my ex texted me wanting to get back together. Of course, I was excited, but also skeptical, because the person I cried myself to sleep about for 3 months wanted to try again so out the blue. As we started talking again, he noticed the influx in my Instagram followers. He tells me that he wouldn't feel comfortable continuing the relationship if he found out I did anything more than kiss another man during the breakup. I seen this as unfair not only because he broke up with me, but that he wanted to came back, but was making me choose between telling the truth and losing him again, or lying and withholding what actually happened during the breakup. I lied to my boyfriend about what happened while we were broken up. Update. I obviously chose option B and lied to him because ignorance is bliss and that it was. We were so happy once we got back together, I spent a lot of time reflecting, and he did too, so it seemed. Well, one night he went through my phone and saw everything. He went through text messages with my best friends, recovered old messages with people I had talked to, and even went into my Google Photos to see old screenshots. He was so angry and hurt, but after I explained myself, he understood my POV and said that, with time, he could maybe get over it. He kept reiterating the fact that our relationship was really good up until he figured out what really happened. But his trust for me would be slim. It's only been about a month and a half since everything, but he's been really mean about the situation. He's talked down to me, saying I was used, and even went as far to say I was dirty and that I shouldn't expect him to make me his wife one day. I expressed how hurtful it was to hear him say all those things, and he did apologize for what he said, but that doesn't mean he doesn't still feel the same way. He says he really wants to get over it, and he doesn't want this to linger throughout the relationship, but his retroactive jealousy is stopping him. I don't know much about it and have yet to do much research on it, but it doesn't really make sense to me why this bothers him so much, especially because I give him all of the reassurance he could need an answer, any questions he might have, honestly. Even when he went through my phone, there was nothing that proved me being disloyal once we got back together, only things that were done during the breakup. Besides this, our relationship is great. Our families like each other, and we get along pretty well. We have small fights, but nothing relationship-threatening or unusual. He treats me really well, and it's not like him to insult me, but I fear that him not letting go of this situation will only build resentment, leading to a second and probably final breakup. Part of me wants to end the relationship now instead of waiting for the resentment to build because I'm not sure he'll ever get over this. Am I a bad person?